Yeah, so the goal is that inner union of masculine and feminine. It's almost like when you are able to connect that and balance those energies and have that type of harmony, it's like what you're seeking is found. You know how they say that everything you seek is within you? That's what that means. It's because when you have that balance, you feel very fulfilled. You feel very fulfilled. It's like you're in like the best, most healthiest relationship. It's a beautiful thing. It's something to invest in. It's a beautiful journey to get to know both your masculine and feminine energies. Have you ever noticed around certain people, we're more in our masculine energy, and around other people, we're more in our flowy, safe, soft, feminine energy? Have you ever noticed that? I don't know. When I started to work on my energies within, and what I started to notice was crazy, and how I would act around certain people, not even knowing. Because it doesn't matter if you're male or female, we both have feminine and masculine energies inside us. And around certain people, we're more in our masculine, and around certain people, we're more in our feminine. And then generally in our lives, we're also mostly in our masculine and mostly in our feminine. Have you ever noticed? Have you ever noticed which energy you are typically in just by default? So the way I really started to explore this and really understand it is when I started to really look at my childhood and to realize, when you look at your triggers, traumas, and everything in terms of your upbringing and the impacts that's made on you as now an adult, you really start to see like, shit, I used to be my masculine a lot. My point is, and that's just not one thing, there's a lot of things, the area I grew up in, or the type of people I was around. It's almost like my life was set up in a way that I was forced to be mostly in my masculine energy. And you're so young, you're not even aware of which energy you're operating from the most until you start to do the work, look inside, and realize you've been even doing that and how that looks in your current life when you look around. So, to really start to look at that, first take a look at your childhood. Was it soft? Were you able to be the calm little child, the princess? Or were you always on defense? Were you always having to fight for yourself? Like, how were you operating as a child? Did you really have to grow up early? Do you know what I mean? Or were you able to really be taken care of and in your soft energy for most of your upbringing? So when you really start to take a look at that, you really see, holy crap, I've been operating from this energy from the beginning. Because, of course, just like anything else, you get used to it. And that's what you carry on for majority of your life until you get intentional about it, if that's what you choose, and you start to work on it. Because the best, most fulfilling life is when they're most balanced. Both of the energies are in a type of union and balance that creates a harmony within you, which looks like happiness and joy and balance. And it's a different way of living. So, another great way to actually other than your childhood, another way to really dive in and take a look at what kind of energies you typically operate from naturally is to also see with your past relationships. That's a really great way to take a look at if you're in your feminine energy or your masculine energies more. Like if you are constantly planning, constantly controlling what's happening, what you're eating together as a couple, or where you're going to go and you're on top of it, you're in charge. Like, is that the type of energy? Or do you kind of go with the flow and let things happen, let others do for you, and sit in your kind of feminine goddess energy, just knowing everything is fine and not having the need to control and overlook and be in charge of everything. So, when you take a look at your past relationships, there's a lot of information there to tell you, have you been operating from more your masculine or your feminine energy? And the type of relationships you're choosing, because often we choose the opposite type of person. So are you choosing somebody that takes that charge and, is the initiator and the go-getter in the relationship, or is it the opposite? you know are you attracting somebody that's more just passive and with the flow and not much of a worrier, and is just, I don't know, just seems peaceful, balanced? And what are you attracting or what are you into? That'll often also tell you, because we usually want the opposite naturally, energetically, is how it works. And so both the childhood and the type of relationships and people that you've been dating or in relationships with are huge indicators and will tell you a lot about yourself when it comes to what kind of energy that you move with for the most part and majority of your life, even. Um, and the thing is that once you really start to understand not only masculine and feminine energies and how that looks for you and what you've been operating from, but then you can start to become intentional. You can start to put forth the type of energy for a particular situation. Like, let me give you an example. When you're at work, you're not going to sit there in your feminine energy and be like, oh, I'm going to let everything flow to me. Oh, and just, no, you got to put in the work. You have to kind of embrace that masculine energy, do the work, get stuff done. There's deadlines, you're taking charge, you are running the show, and you're in that power, that masculine power and energy. And so you have to put that forth, put that type of energy forth. Whereas when you're maybe at home, when you come through that door, and suppose you're a single female, and you come through that door, you can now rest in your feminine energy. Put on a candle, turn your cell phone off, breathe a little bit, give yourself what you need, not worry about what's going on in the outside world. You can disconnect and really relax and be in that soft, beautiful energy. And so, because the opposite is you come home and suddenly go, go, go. Oh, what about that? Did I send that email out? Let me check this. And oh, okay, what's for dinner? Let me just plan it now. Like just not being able to take that armor off. And I get it. There's a lot to do, but the world's not going to stop moving. So to really be intentional and to know when to switch from one energy to the other, it just makes your life more at ease. And it doesn't feel like you're fighting against, because you just know when to be in one over the other, and it just better fits the situation and it feels better. Hence, that whole experience is better because of that. Like you won't have a great work experience if you're always in your feminine, and you won't have a great home experience over if you're always in your masculine, and not being able to relax in your private home and sanctuary. And so that's a life hack, a tool that is really great to have, and utilizing your energies accordingly. Because when you're in harmony and both your masculine and feminine energies are in such a good give and take, they have a great relationship. There's a harmony inside your body. When I say body, I mean mind, body, soul, spirit. You feel an energy that feels so balanced and beautiful. And getting to know the two energies, working with them, and knowing when to put them out and when to sort of hold back is going to take you closer to creating that balance and harmony. And once you, again, make that a habit and do it so often, for a long period of time, it'll become a habit and something that you just naturally shift into. And you'll flow through life so much better, and your quality of life even changes. And so it is the best gift to give yourself, to understand your masculine energy and your feminine energy. Think of your inner masculine, feminine energies also as a relationship. Let's say a boyfriend and a girlfriend, okay? Let's just compare a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship to your inner masculine and feminine internal relationship, because there's so many similarities. So suppose you're relaxing on a weekend, or you're feeling down and you just can't get yourself out of bed, and you're not motivated to do anything. And, just like in a relationship, you would want your man to come by and say, hey, baby, let's get up. Let's do something. Let's change this mood. Let's get you out of this funk. I know exactly what you need. Let's take you out for an ice cream, right? You would want somebody to show up for you like that. So if you're laying in bed, not feeling good about yourself, not getting yourself out of bed, just know that your masculine has just, and in that relationship, that's the equivalent of him leaving the house and being like, okay, you're in this mood. I don't want to deal with it. Let me know when you're better. And you just leave your girl on the bed crying. That's when I started looking at it like that, my life changed. Because what I would want from my man, I should be giving myself. Because if I'm in bed crying and having a bad day, I want my man to help me, bring me out of that, or understand me and know what to say, know what to do. Right? Comfort me, console me, love me. So when I'm allowing myself now for prolonged periods of time to be sad and not get up and feel sorry for myself and, oh, the world against me type of narrative going on in my mind, I'm just leaving myself in the dust. So what I want somebody else to do, another human to do, I can't do for myself, make that make sense. And that's where it changed. Because now a lot of us do this. Do you ever, give yourself that tough love when you're crying? Like, okay, get up, man. Like, what did you do? All this? Or do you console yourself? And do you sit there patiently and hug yourself and love yourself and tell yourself, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to get through this together. What are you saying to yourself when you cry? What are you saying to yourself? That's what I want to know. Because I had a huge reality check. Because it was always me and my masculine, like, get up, like, come on, okay, soft girl, let's go, let's go. Stop being such a pussy, let's go. Would I want my man to talk to me like that? I would die, okay? I would cry even harder. So now make that make sense. Why would I come at myself like that with that aggressive energy to snap out of it? I don't do that anymore. I know when to bring out tough love in a loving way, but until I wasn't aware of it, that's how I would just talk to myself when I wasn't feeling good. That's crazy to me. That also was an indication that, okay, me feeling sorry for myself, crying in bed, refusing to get up, in my feminine, being that girlfriend, right? But then also, I started to find a way to bring the boyfriend, AKA masculine energy, in to love myself through that process and give myself the time, give myself the love, console myself and just stick by my side until I felt better. Really understanding that that's exactly what I would want a friend, a boyfriend, somebody else to do for me. So I'm going to have to start to show up how I want you to show up. And it's changed the game. It's changed the game. So whether it is you are crying, sensitive, going through something, change the dialogue. Change how you're speaking to yourself. Change how you comfort yourself. And if you need to double check if you're doing a good job of that, again, ask yourself what you would want from somebody else to give you when you're in that same position. Everything you need to know is right there. So start showing up at the minimum how you want other people to show up for you, if not more, right? Shouldn't we be showing up for ourselves much more than anybody else could in the world, right? That's how it should be. It's a great practice. It's a reality check. It'll show you a lot. And it's a great way to see the energies and play around with them. Really think about it as boyfriend, girlfriend. Same thing as like inner child and me, the mother, to my inner child. I'm going to sit there now and scold you for crying, tell you to get up and stop being lazy and stop this, stop. Like, no, tell that baby to come here, comfort, hug that baby until it feels better, right? Until you see smiling, running around again. So really start to talk to yourself like you would talk to, like you would want your partner to speak to you, how you would speak to your children or anybody else that you really, really love and who you see in that same position. Practice that, and let me tell you, it'll change a lot about how you show up. And it'll feel so much better when you're in those situations to handle it with the right energy. Again, taking it back to know what energy to use when. Yeah, so the goal is that inner union of masculine and feminine. It's almost like when you are able to connect that and balance those energies and have that type of harmony, it's like what you're seeking is found. You know how they say that everything you seek is within you? That's what that means. Because when you have that balance, you feel very fulfilled. You feel very fulfilled. It's like you're in like the best, most healthiest relationship. It's a beautiful thing. It's something to invest in. It's a beautiful journey to get to know both your masculine and feminine energies and when to use them, and just really seeing around the type of people you hang out with or you work with, who puts you in your masculine, who puts you in your feminine. Then you can also start to put together situations and groups of people or individuals that you know bring up this energy or that energy out of you. Maybe you take a look at that and realize you are hanging out around way too many people that have you in your masculine energy, right? And so then the people that allow you to be in your feminine energy, maybe you can start making more time for them. Or maybe you can notice the qualities that they have and then start to find those in other people. and notice what the commonality is between these people that keeps you in such a nice, soft, feminine space. And so you see how you can sort of shift your life and create realities outside of you by having that information. So important. It's so important. Not only with people, to know who puts you in your masculine and feminine and then being intentional and setting up the groups and your social life accordingly, but also the places that you go, the things that you do, your activities. Like what is relaxing, what allows you to be in your feminine, and what things allow you to be in your masculine. And so you can also start to incorporate and schedule activities in your life that have you in a nice balance between the both. Personally, I love to be my masculine energy, but to learn to really appreciate and enjoy being in my feminine. I have some anxiety sometimes being in my feminine because I like to take charge. I like to do things. I'm a go, go, go type of person. But to really start to appreciate and learn how to really relax in your feminine, wow, wow. I unlocked a whole part of myself that I didn't even know I had. It's one of the best things I've done for myself is to really start to learn both of those beautiful energies because I had my feminine, like, can you imagine that? So aggressive. Like, nope, you don't know. I have to control it. This is the only way it's going to happen. Just not flowing with life at all. Always in my masculine since such a young age. And now I listen to my feminine. I work with her. I love her. I respect her, you know, like any decent boyfriend would. Okay. And I really appreciate her. And it's just crazy because that's a lot of the problem in relationships, right? When the woman doesn't feel safe, when she can't be her just open self and just flow and be gentle and just in her beautiful aura. When a female has to constantly be around a man that keeps her in her masculine energy, like there is a disharmony. It's not good. People still stay, but I'm just saying, knowing these things about you, you can also then choose relationships accordingly. How beautiful, for a female, for example, who is so used to being in her masculine, and then she finally understands and taps into her feminine energy and then finds a relationship accordingly because she actually realizes she does better in a relationship when she's in her feminine energy. And so she can go out and intentionally, really notice that when she's in a relationship of what type of energy she's in. And that person allows her to be in that energy and relax in that energy and be herself. Hell yeah, I want that information. I will do the work to really take a look at my energies within because major life decisions you can make with this. Even when things stress me out, just to be in my feminine and just know things will work out and being so connected spiritually and just relaxing and not worrying and being in my, okay, I got to do this. So make sure this, no, really allowing and flowing. So it's not even relationships, it's just life. So really get to know those beautiful energies within you and use them in your life, use them in your relationships, use them in your career, use them. Every single part of your life can utilize this information. And it starts with, again, really looking at the relationships you've always had, the type of people you gravitate towards, your childhood, your upbringing, your energies for the majority of the part, as you grew up. And just really do a nice deep dive into your energies inside and really bring them out. There's a lot of beauty in it. Like, I was hiding my feminine energy for so long, and oh, what a shame. My life is so much better now that I listen and I'm attentive and I respect and honor my feminine energy. I feel so much more full. I can show up for myself so much better. Now I know when my masculine needs to step up, and I know when my feminine needs to step up. When my masculine is worn out and just done and overspent emotionally, this, that, my feminine comes in and provides that comfort, that loving touch needed. And guess what? I'm okay with that. I don't feel that anxiety inside that I need to do something because I'm very aware. Because my masculine wants to do that. My feminine's like, no, right now we're resting. Right now we're taking it easy. Right now we're disconnecting from the outside world. And just to develop that dialogue, like you're literally getting an inside look into how I speak to myself. And it's beautiful. Call me crazy. I don't care. I'm actually telling you to start doing the same. Let people call you crazy. It's the best thing I've done. And guess what? I will then know how I want people to also speak to me. Do you understand? You kind of set a bar. You set the standard for how you want to be spoken to, because how you speak to yourself. It really starts from within. You're setting a lot of bars by doing the inner work, really getting to know yourself, and the outside world will follow suit. That's how it works. Get to know yourself, get to know your energy, set the bar, and watch your outside world also make shifts and moves. That's just how it is. I love you. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you for the next episode. Thank you for all the love and support. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.